There comes a moment when everything around you begins to shift. You may not see it at first, but you can feel it deep within. It is a stirring, a whisper from the unseen, signaling that your world is about to transform. At first it may seem like chaos. Things fall apart, relationships fade, doors close that once seemed wide open. You may be tempted to believe that you are losing, that life is working against you. But this is the illusion, the final test before the new reality is born. When life begins to shift, it often does not arrive as a gentle breeze, but as a storm. What was once familiar suddenly feels distant, and what once seemed certain begins to slip through your fingers. People you counted on may drift away, opportunities that once felt secure may vanish, and the routines you relied upon may begin to feel empty and meaningless. This is the moment when many feel lost, confused, and even betrayed by life itself. But what they do not realize is that this disruption is not a sign of destruction, it is a sign of transformation. There is a natural order to change, and it rarely comes in the form we expect. When something new is about to emerge, the old must first be dismantled. The structures that once held you in place can no longer contain the expansion of who you are becoming. The relationships, habits, and circumstances that no longer align with your higher self will start to fall away. This is not punishment, but preparation. It is life making room for something greater, something beyond what you have previously imagined. It is easy to resist this process. The mind clings to the familiar because it equates familiarity with safety. Even when a situation no longer serves you, you may feel a deep desire to hold on simply because it is known. But the longer you resist, the more difficult the transition becomes. Life will continue to push you, forcing you to release what no longer belongs in your future. If you fight the shift, you experience suffering. If you surrender to it, you step into alignment with the very thing you have been asking for. This moment of disruption is often misinterpreted as failure. You may believe that you are losing control, that everything is working against you. But the truth is, life is working in your favor, even if it does not yet appear that way. The job you lost was never meant to carry you to your highest potential. The relationship that ended was not strong enough to walk with you into your next chapter. The comfort you once knew was preventing you from stepping into the power you were always meant to claim. This process is not random. It is precise. The things that leave your life are not taken from you, they are removed for you. What is collapsing is not your life itself, but the outdated version of it. The version that was built on past beliefs, past limitations, and past fears. The version that no longer fits the person you are becoming. It is like a house being torn down so that a stronger, more magnificent structure can take its place. In the midst of this transition, uncertainty will arise. You will find yourself questioning everything, wondering if you made a mistake, if you should turn back, if you should cling to what remains. This is the test. This is where most people falter, retreating to their old ways, afraid to step fully into the unknown. But those who trust the process, who move forward despite their fear, are the ones who experience the greatest breakthroughs. Your life is shifting because you have outgrown the version of yourself that once fit comfortably in your previous reality. Growth is uncomfortable. Transformation is unsettling, but it is necessary. If you have been asking for more, if you have been seeking change, then you must be willing to release what no longer belongs. The universe cannot give you what you desire if your hands are still gripping what was never meant to last. As things begin to fall apart, look deeper. Ask yourself, what is this making space for? What is life trying to show me? Every moment of disruption carries within it an opportunity for expansion. If you look beyond the discomfort, you will see the invitation to step into something greater. The discomfort you feel is temporary. It is only the resistance of the old self struggling to hold on as the new self emerges. But if you trust that this shift is happening for you, not to you, you will find peace even in the midst of the storm. You will begin to recognize that what feels like chaos is actually the first sign of alignment. You were never meant to stay the same. You were meant to evolve, to expand, to step into a greater expression of yourself. And the moment life begins to shake, the moment everything seems uncertain, is the moment you must remember this is not the end, this is the beginning. Everything you experience in life is a reflection of your inner state. The world you see is not happening to you, it is responding to you. The circumstances, relationships, and opportunities that appear in your life are the direct manifestations of your beliefs, emotions, and assumptions. Most people live under the illusion that reality is fixed, that things happen randomly, and that they must react to what life presents. But the truth is, life is only mirroring back to them the energy they carry within. When your inner world begins to shift, your outer world must follow. This is not a matter of chance, but of universal law. If you hold on to feelings of lack, struggle, or unworthiness, your reality will reflect those beliefs in the form of financial difficulties, strained relationships, or missed opportunities. But the moment you change the way you see yourself, the moment you assume a new state of being, the world around you rearranges itself to match that assumption. Most people try to change their outer world first, believing that if they just get the right job, meet the right person, or earn a certain amount of money, then they will feel happy, secure, or successful. But this approach is backward. The external world is not the cause, it is the effect. You cannot change the mirror by altering the reflection. You must change the source. If you want to see a different reality, you must first embody the feeling of that reality within yourself. This is why so many remain stuck in cycles of struggle. They are waiting for external proof before they allow themselves to believe. They say, I will feel abundant when I see money in my account, or I will feel loved when the right person comes into my life. But by doing so, they reinforce the very lack they wish to escape. They continue to see more of what they do not want because their inner state remains the same. The moment they shift their internal world, however, their external reality must reflect that change. This process is not about forcing or chasing, it is about alignment. When you embody the state of already having, already being, already living in the reality you desire, life has no choice but to respond in kind. People, opportunities, and circumstances will begin to appear as if by coincidence, but there are no coincidences, only reflections. The world is simply catching up to the new version of you. Doubt and fear are the biggest obstacles to this shift. If you hold on to uncertainty, constantly looking around for evidence of change, you delay the process. The key is to persist in your new state, even before the outer world confirms it. Assume the feeling of already being the person you wish to be, and the world will conform, not because you are forcing it, but because it is law. The moment you change within, life bends to accommodate that shift. Doors that were once closed suddenly open. People who once overlooked you begin to take notice. Ideas and inspiration flow effortlessly. It may seem like magic, but it is simply the natural order of things. You do not have to fight, struggle, or convince anyone. You only have to align yourself with the state of being that matches the reality you desire. Everything is already within you. The version of you that is successful, loved, and abundant already exists. The only thing separating you from that reality is your belief in it. The world is not separate from you, it is an extension of you, and the moment you recognize this truth, you will no longer be at the mercy of circumstance. You will realize that you have been shaping your world all along. Letting go is one of the hardest things to do because the mind clings to what is familiar even when it no longer serves you. People hold on to relationships that no longer bring them joy, jobs that drain their energy, and beliefs that limit their potential. They convince themselves that if they just try harder, if they just wait a little longer, things will improve. But in reality, holding on to what is no longer aligned with you only delays the arrival of what is meant for you. Change cannot come into a life that is too full of the past. If your hands are clenched around something that no longer serves you, there is no space to receive something new. This is why life often forces us to let go through circumstances that seem beyond our control. People leave, doors close, opportunities slip away, and at first it feels like loss. But in truth, it is preparation. The things that fall away are not meant to punish you, they are meant to free you. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means making space. It means trusting that whatever is leaving your life is not aligned with where you are going. It means understanding that holding on to something out of fear will never bring you peace. The tighter you hold on to something that is meant to go, the more suffering you create for yourself. But the moment you surrender, the moment you release your grip, life begins to flow effortlessly in the direction it was always meant to. Many fear letting go because they do not trust what is ahead. They believe that if they release what they have now, they may end up with nothing. But this fear is an illusion. The universe does not take from you without reason. It only removes what is keeping you small, what is blocking your path, what is no longer in harmony with your growth. And when you have the courage to let go, you are always met with something greater. The process of release often feels uncomfortable because it requires stepping into the unknown. The mind craves certainty, and letting go means accepting that you may not yet see what is coming next. But certainty is an illusion. True power comes from trusting the unseen, from believing that life is guiding you even when the next step is unclear. When you resist this process, you hold yourself back from the very thing you have been asking for. If you have been asking for more abundance, more love, or more success, do not be surprised when life begins to remove what is no longer aligned with that vision. The version of you that is abundant does not hold on to lack. The version of you that is deeply loved does not cling to relationships that drain them. The version of you that is successful does not fear releasing the things that no longer elevate them. You must become that version of yourself now. Trust that when something is removed from your life, it is only making space for something better. What is truly meant for you will never require you to beg, force, or struggle. When something is right for you, it flows. When it is not, it resists. Pay attention to the things that feel heavy, forced, or draining. They are showing you what no longer. The moment you stop trying to control, to fix, to hold on to what is not meant for you, the right things begin to appear effortlessly. Releasing the old is an act of faith. It is a declaration that you trust in the unseen, that you believe in something greater than what you can currently see. The more you resist, the longer you delay what is waiting for you. But the moment you let go, truly let go, you create space for something far beyond what you ever imagined. Life is always working in your favor, even when it asks you to release what you thought you needed. Long before the physical world confirms it, a shift begins within you. Long before you see evidence of change, you feel it. It starts as a quiet whisper, a subtle knowing that something is different. Your interests change, your energy feels unfamiliar, and what once excited you may no longer hold the same power. You may not be able to explain it, but deep down you sense that something is moving. This is how transformation begins. Not with external proof, but with an internal shift. Before the outside world reflects a new reality, your emotions, thoughts, and energy adjust first. Most people ignore this stage because they are conditioned to look for evidence in their surroundings. They want to see physical proof before they allow themselves to believe. But the truth is, by the time you see it, the shift has already happened. Your feelings are the first sign of manifestation. The moment your desires begin to take form in your reality, your emotions signal the change. You may feel a deep sense of excitement without knowing why, or you may experience a strange sense of detachment, as if the things that once mattered no longer hold the same weight. Some feel an unexplained peace, as if they have already arrived at their destination before taking a single step. These feelings are not random. They are the first confirmation that your reality is shifting. But this is also where doubt can creep in. Because the physical world has not yet caught up, the mind begins to question. Where is it? Why hasn't it happened yet? Am I just imagining things? The moment doubt enters, you interrupt the process. You begin to undo the internal shift by allowing external circumstances to dictate your belief. This is why so many remain stuck, because they trust what they see more than what they feel. The key to transformation is persistence in feeling. You must hold on to the inner shift even when the outer world looks unchanged. You must trust the feeling more than the physical evidence. The world is slow to catch up, but it must align with what you sustain within. If you remain faithful to the state of already having, already being, already living in your desired reality, the external world will eventually mirror that truth. Everything moves from the unseen to the seen. A tree begins as a seed hidden beneath the soil. A storm gathers long before a single raindrop falls. Your reality is no different. By the time you see change, it has already been in motion for a long time. The question is, will you trust the process, or will you allow impatience to delay your manifestation? When you feel the shift within, celebrate it. Recognize it as the first stage of creation. Do not seek confirmation from the outside world. Know that it is already done. Hold on to the feeling, nurture it, and allow it to grow. The moment you truly embody the reality you desire, it must materialize. Not because you forced it, but because it was always yours. The only thing required was for you to believe it before you could see it. When your life is about to change, the people around you will often start acting differently. Some will grow distant, some will question your decisions, and others may even try to pull you back into the version of yourself they are comfortable with. This is not a coincidence. The people in your life are mirrors, reflecting your past beliefs, patterns, and identity. And as you begin to shift, those mirrors either adjust to reflect the new you or shatter under the weight of your transformation. Change is uncomfortable, not just for you, but for those around you. When you start thinking differently, speaking differently, and moving towards something greater, it unsettles those who are used to the old version of you. They may not understand your growth, and in many cases they may even resist it. This is not because they wish to harm you, but because your evolution challenges their own sense of stability. When you rise, you remind them of what they have not yet done. You will notice that some relationships no longer feel the same. Conversations that once excited you may now feel empty. People who once seemed like your closest friends may suddenly seem distant. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are outgrowing the old and stepping into the new. Just as a snake sheds its skin or a butterfly leaves its cocoon, you must release what no longer fits your future. The mistake many make in this stage is trying to hold on to everyone. They try to convince people to understand them, to support them, to come along on their journey. But not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next chapter. Some people are lessons, meant to be part of your past, but not your future. The more you try to drag them along, the more resistance you will feel. Growth is a solo journey, and sometimes the price of transformation is leaving behind those who are not ready to evolve with you. You may also experience unexpected opposition. People who once encouraged you may start to criticize you. Those who once supported you may suddenly doubt you. This is because your growth exposes their stagnation. It forces them to confront their own fears, their own limitations, and their own unwillingness to change. It is easier for them to pull you back into their comfort zone than to step out of their own. Do not take this personally. It is not about you. It is about them. True alignment will attract new relationships into your life. People who match the energy you are stepping into. When you start thinking bigger, you will attract those who think the same way. When you elevate your mindset, you will naturally connect with those who are on a similar path. But you cannot make space for these new connections if you are still holding on to relationships that no longer align with your future. This transition can feel lonely, but solitude is a necessary part of transformation. When you step away from the noise of those who doubt you, you begin to hear your own inner voice more clearly. You start to trust yourself, your vision, and your path. And as you continue forward, you will realize that those who are truly meant to be in your life will grow with you. Those who are not will naturally fade away. Letting go of people does not mean you do not love them. It means you love yourself enough to move toward what is meant for you. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that is okay. Your evolution is not meant to be understood by everyone. It is meant to be honored by you. And when you fully embrace your growth, you will find yourself surrounded by those who truly support and celebrate the person you are becoming. There comes a moment, just before everything shifts, when everything feels uncertain. It is a moment filled with doubt, discomfort, and sometimes even fear. The path ahead is unclear, and nothing seems to be happening the way you expected. You begin questioning whether you are making the right decisions, whether you are truly on the right path, whether all the effort you have put in is actually leading somewhere. This is the final test before your life changes. It is the universe asking, do you truly believe in what you have asked for? Right before a breakthrough, many experience this sense of confusion, as if they are standing on the edge of something vast, but unable to see what lies ahead. This is because reality is shifting, rearranging itself to align with a new version of you. Everything you have been working toward, everything you have been visualizing is in motion, But before it can fully materialize, you must prove that you are truly ready to receive it. This test comes in many forms. Sometimes it appears as old fears resurfacing, doubts you thought you had let go of, emotions you believed were healed, challenges that mirror past struggles. Other times it feels like nothing is happening at all, as if the universe has gone silent, leaving you in a void of uncertainty. The waiting can be unbearable and the temptation to give up becomes strong. But this is exactly where most people fail, right before their manifestation is about to arrive. Most people do not realize that uncertainty is a sign of progress. When nothing feels stable, it means the old reality is dissolving, making way for the new. But because they cannot yet see the results, they assume they have failed. They return to old habits, old patterns, and old ways of thinking, undoing everything they have built. They mistake the void for rejection, not realizing that it is a necessary step in the transformation process. The universe does not test you to make you suffer. It tests you to see if you are truly aligned with what you say you want. If you desire abundance, will you trust it even when there is no money in sight? If you seek love, will you believe in it even when you feel alone? If you wish to change your life, will you remain committed even when everything around you suggests otherwise? The answer to these questions determines whether you step into your new reality or fall back into the old one. The key to passing this test is unwavering faith. You must act as if your desires are already yours, even when the world tells you otherwise. You must hold on to the feeling of success, even when success has not yet appeared. You must believe in your vision so deeply that no external circumstance can shake your confidence. The moment you do this, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. But this is where many struggle. They wait for proof before they believe. They need to see results before they trust the process. But manifestation does not work that way. You do not receive first and then believe. You believe first and then you receive. The external world is always a reflection of your internal state. If you allow doubt to take over, you delay your breakthrough. If you remain firm in your belief, the shift happens faster than you can imagine. Right before your life changes, it will feel like nothing is happening. It will feel like you are stuck in place, like you are waiting endlessly for a sign. This is the moment when you must hold on the tightest. It is in this final stretch that most give up, not realizing that they were only days, hours, or even moments away from their breakthrough. Those who succeed are not the ones who never feel doubt. They are the ones who refuse to let doubt stop them. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who remain stuck is simple. Those who succeed do not quit when things get uncomfortable. They do not let temporary uncertainty convince them that nothing is happening. They understand that discomfort is a sign of growth, that confusion is a sign of transition, and that the void is simply a space where the old is clearing to make way for the new. This is the final test before your reality shifts. Will you hold the vision, or will you let fear pull you back? Will you trust the process, or will you demand proof before believing? The choice is yours, and the universe is waiting for your answer. When your life is about to change, everything around you begins to shift. Your emotions, your circumstances, your relationships, and even the way you see the world. The old falls away, making room for the new, but this process is rarely smooth or predictable. It tests your patience, your faith, and your willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. The signs are always there. An inner knowing, a shift in your desires, doors closing, and the sudden resistance from those around you. These are not signs of failure, but confirmations that transformation is already underway. The universe is always responding to your state of being, aligning you with the reality you have chosen. Whether you see it yet or not, the key to stepping fully into your new reality is trust. Trust in the unseen, trust in the process, and trust in yourself. Most people give up just before the breakthrough, mistaking discomfort for a sign to turn back. But those who persist, those who hold on to the vision despite uncertainty, are the ones who witness their lives transform in ways beyond imagination. You are not being tested for no reason. You are being prepared. You are being called to rise into the version of yourself that is truly aligned with what you desire. If you can hold steady in the face of doubt, if you can release the old without fear, and if you can stand firm in your belief before the evidence appears, then nothing can stop the inevitable shift that is already in motion. Everything you want is already yours. The only thing left is for you to claim it, to trust it, and to step boldly into the new chapter that is waiting for you.